Welcome back to The Wandering Screen. I'm Matt Koss, and today I'm looking at Train Dreams starring Joel Edgerton, so let's jump in. Every now and then a film comes along that feels less like a story and more like a dream gently unfolding. Train Dreams is exactly that. It's like a poem about life and loss and the quiet dignity of existence, and it really needs to be seen on the big screen. The cinematography, the brilliant pacing and dreamlike quality are enhanced in a fully immersive environment. And if you can't make it to the movie theaters and need to watch it on Netflix, the AMC rules apply. Phones away, silence, and turn that volume up. Directed by Clint Bentley and based on Denis Johnson's novella, and with a script by Bentley and frequent collaborator Greg Quetta, the film follows one man's journey through the shifting landscape of early 20th century America. Joel Edgerton gives the best performance of his career as Robert Grenier, a woodsman whose life is charted across decades. He's not a remarkable man in the traditional cinematic sense. He's not a genius, he's not a criminal, he's not a hero or an anti-hero, he's just a man living through change. The train lines he helps build will one day become highways. The forests he cuts down will one day become towns. And the world will move faster than he can. But Train Dreams finds something deeply spiritual in that quiet, ordinary life. The story begins at the turn of the century with Grenier working as a labourer in the wilderness. It's back-breaking work, full of danger, falling trees, and camaraderie. He meets strangers who become like family, faces loss without warning, and keeps moving because that's what men of his generation did. When he meets Gladys, played by Felicity Jones, his life opens up to love and companionship and hope. Together they build a small home and welcome a child into the world. Those early scenes are so tender and radiant, and they're captured in this soft daylight and the nighttime through flickering candlelight, all through cinematographer Adolfo Velosso's lens, giving the film a gentle storybook quality. But the beauty of life in Train Dreams is fragile, and one tragic event sends Robert into solitude, and the film quietly follows his years of isolation and regret and rediscovery. There's no poetic justice in his journey, just the ebb and flow of existence. The people who pass through our lives, the ways we learn to keep going. Everything in this movie has a purpose, and it's beautifully told. The fallen trees are as vital as the living ones, the insects as sacred as the bears, and the film never dramatizes these ideas, but more so just observes them. It's about a man who doesn't make a huge impact on the world, but who gets to experience all of it. The love, the pain, the change, and the sheer act of just being alive. Joel Edgerton carries the film with a really remarkable restraint. Grenier is not a talker, so Edgerton has to communicate through his eyes and his silence and the weight of his movements. There's a scene where he sits in his tent next to Arthur Peoples, played by William H. Macy, and when he simply asks Peoples to keep playing music, it's some of the most he's spoken in the whole film. And it's such a small exchange, but it says more about the character than any long speech could. Macy is terrific here, delivering quiet wisdom as Arthur, a kind of mentor to Robert. His presence adds texture to the film's meditation on memory and legacy. The idea that we're shaped not only by what we do, but by who we encounter along the way. Kerry Condon also leaves a really strong impression in a small but soulful role as a woman living in solitude, while Felicity Jones brings a really grounded warmth to Gladys. There's a tenderness between her and Edgerton that makes this love story feel both fleeting and eternal. And the film's emotional current is carried along by Bryce Dessner's extraordinary score. The piano themes in particular give the film a spiritual pulse. It's a score that breathes, sometimes fragile, sometimes overwhelming, and it elevates every image into something transcendental. Visually, Train Dreams is stunning. Veloso shoots the landscape like it's alive, full of motion and light. There's something almost mythical about the way Bentley frames the natural world as both friend and foe. The transitions from manual labor to industrial machinery, from trains to highways, trace the evolution of progress and the cost of time. What's remarkable about Train Dreams is how simple it is. It's not trying to shock or manipulate. It doesn't glorify tragedy or romanticize the past. Instead, it observes life with empathy. And it reminded me of films like The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, stories that slowed down time to capture fleeting beauty with a really easy narration. Bentley brings a similar quiet confidence to this one, trusting the audience to feel rather than be told. And that's what makes Train Dreams feel spiritual. It's about living through change, about finding grace in ordinary things. It's about how the world keeps moving and how our small lives can still mean everything within it. Through Robert Grenier, we're reminded that significance doesn't come from what we achieve, but from what we experience. And it's the laughter, the heartbreak, the touch of someone's hand, the hard times that on reflection are actually the best, and the sound of music played in the dark. In the end, as Robert takes that final flight and gazes at the earth below, there's a sense of quiet understanding that life, no matter how ordinary, is a miracle of motion and memory. It's about the fact that we get to live it all. You made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe for all the latest film reviews this award season. Have you seen Train Dreams? Let me know your thoughts on the movie in the comments section below, and see you next time.